Hey, this is Cory, quarantined in my kitchen in Anchorage, Alaska, and today on Your Quarantini, we are going to be making Big Sky Seclusion for Zach, an original cocktail using ingredients that he has sitting around his kitchen while he's hunkered down in Missoula, Montana. This is Your Quarantini. Based on what Zach and his wife Casey said that they liked, I came up with a fun riff on a classic 3-part whiskey sour to show how some creative substitutions in the classic build can make for an easy but very interesting new cocktail. A classic whiskey sour is going to be whiskey, lemon, and sugar. Today we're going to be using bourbon for our whiskey element. I do like throwing in a little bit of bitters to balance the cocktail out, but that's not always necessary. I'm still going to be using lemon to provide the acidic element for this cocktail, but for the sugar we're going to be making a chai-infused honey syrup, along with making a spicy chai powder to rim the glass. Now before we go any further, Zach, I know you have Malort.
Malort. Oh.
You know I know you have Malort.
I'm gonna fight somebody if I have to do another one.
However, I decided it was probably in the best interest of our friendship for me not to use your Malort.
Yeah, that stuff's good. Ah!
I will be leaving a description and links for the cocktail recipe and ingredients, as well as how you can submit for a quarantine if you like. But before we do anything else, it's time to prep. The first thing that we're going to prep is going to be the chai honey syrup. So honey on its own can be a pretty difficult ingredient to work with just because it's real thick, real viscous, and doesn't incorporate well into a cocktail. So we're going to cut it with some water before we add the chai. So we're going to start with 1 cup of honey. Then we're going to cut it with a 1/2 cup of water. And we're going to put some heat on it and bring it to a simmer and kind of break down the honey. After the honey is warmed up, we're going to give it a little bit of a stir to incorporate it into the water and keep it at a simmer. We're going to be adding 4 tablespoons of chai into the honey syrup. Now stir that up till the chai is completely dissolved, and we're going to be done with the chai honey syrup. Next up, it was time to juice some lemons. I thought my supervisor was going to be able to help me out with some of the prep, but it turned out that even the thought was pretty exhausting. Our last bit of prep that we're going to do is to make the spicy chai powder that we're going to rim the glass of the cocktail with. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of sugar, add a tablespoon of chai, and then we're going to finish that with a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder to give it some kick. I'm now going to mix this all together in my blender. You don't have to use a blender for this step. In fact, it's probably easier to shake it up in a Ziploc bag. But because I had the blender and I'm stuck in my house, I wanted to use it. And now we are all set with our lemon juice, our chai honey syrup, and our spicy chai powder. Now that we're all prepped up and ready to go, it's time to make Big Sky Seclusion. Normally I'd be using my fancy professional bar tools to be making the cocktail. But in case you don't have a kit like that during your quarantine, I'm going to be using the same standard household everyday items in my kitchen that you're probably going to have in your kitchen. So now onto our cocktail build. We're going to start by doing a half rim of our spicy chai powder on the rim of the glass. And then we're going to add 2 ounces of bourbon. 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 tablespoons. So 4 tablespoons in this example. Then we're going to add an ounce of lemon juice. And then we're going to finish that with 3/4 of an ounce of our chai honey syrup. And this we're going to split that up between 1.5 tablespoons. Now we're going to add just a dash of bitters. Throw a little ice into our blender bottle. And give this cocktail a nice shake. Now we add some fresh ice to the glass. And strain it over ice using our multifunctional slotted kitchen spoon. For a final garnish, we're going to twist a little bit of lemon peel over the top of the cocktail. And groom that peel up nicely. Finish that with a little twist. Big Sky Seclusion turned out to be a mildly sweet but tart cocktail that showed some pretty nice spice notes to it. The cayenne definitely added a little kick, but nothing that was really overpowering. Zach, I hope you enjoyed Big Sky Seclusion as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Thank you to everyone who checked out the video today. Please be safe out there and remember the 3 Ds of quarantine. Distance, desocialize, and drink.